ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणश्चक्षुश्रोत्रमथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्म उपनिषदं माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत्। अनिराकरणमस्त्वनिराकरणं मे अस्तु तदात्मनि निरते यौपनिषत्सु धर्मास्ते मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये। ओमित्येतदक्षरमुद्गीतमुपासीत ओमिति ह्युद्गायते तस्योपव्याख्यानम् यावद्विकारं तु विभागः लोकवत्। यच्चोक्तम् आकाशस्य उत्पत्तौ न पूर्वोत्तरकालयोः विशेषः संभावयितुं शक्यते इति। What the Ekadashi had said, Akashasya Utpattau, if Akasha is created, Akasha is born, then there must be some difference between the state which existed before the space was born and after it was born. So there must be some Vishesha, some distinction must be there in the states before the creation and after creation. Just as when fire is created, so before fire was created, there was no heat or no light. After fire is created, there is heat and light. So that's a distinction. So this is the mark of what we call pragabhava or prior non-existence. That before a thing existed, whatever its nature is, whatever its peculiarities are, they did not exist and then they came into being. Similarly, Akash also, its nature is to accommodate. So then that Ekadashi said that, can you say that there is no accommodation at any time? Because atoms and such things were always there which needed to accommodate, and therefore we cannot conceive of a situation that there was no accommodation, means there was no space. Therefore space is not created. The answer is given tadayuktam. That argument is not proper. Yeneva hi visheshena pruthivyadibhya vyatirichyamanam nava swarupat idanapi adhyavasiyate. So question is, how do you say there is space? How do you identify space? You do identify space as something different from earth, from water, from fire. You do identify, recognize space as different from them. Is it not so? Yes. So what distinguishes space from other things? That space possesses the quality of sound, which other elements do not possess. And that's how even today also the reason why we are able to recognize space is because space has some distinguishing characteristics, namely sound, which is what distinguishes space from other elements even today. So whatever distinguishing element is, because of which we recognize space as an individual entity different from other entities, that did not exist, that's all we can say. So that is, it is, so the then question was, is it not that when the space is not, nanu akasha bhave kathinyam syaditi, will it not be that if there is no space then everything will be merged into everything else and it will all become a lump? So the answer was given, ni akasha bhava tad dharma va kathinyam. It is not that the nature of space is kathinyam or solidity, or but then or absence of space also is not solidity. Solidity is the nature of the solid substances, and so whether akasha is there or not, the kathinyam is not affected. Then also akasha shariram brahma. The Shruti says akasha is shariram, is the body of Brahma, is the nature of Brahma. Therefore, Agni Aushnyavada Brahmasvavasya Akashasya Sati Brahmani Katham Abhavaha. How can you say that Brahman is there and Akasha is not there? If fire is the Aushnyam, the heat is the nature of fire. So if fire is there, heat must be there. Similarly, if Akasha is the nature of Brahma, then Brahman is there, Akasha must be there. How do you say that Akasha is created from Brahman? Meaning that before creation of Akasha, Brahman was and Akasha was not. How can it be? Because Akasha is the very shariram, very nature of Brahma. So Bhashyakara said, Yathacha Brahma na sthuladivihi pruthivyadi svabhavahi svabhavavata. Just as Brahman doesn't have the svabhava, the nature of Prithvi, namely grossness, doesn't have the svabhava of anunas, subtlety. So just as doesn't have svabhava of fire, heat, doesn't have svabhava of water, fluidity. So just as Brahman does not have the nature of Prithvi, etc., all other elements, so also एवं आकाश स्वभावेनापि न स्वभावत अनाकाशमिति श्रुतेः. Shruti says anakasham, Brahman is not space, meaning that space is not the nature of Brahman. Even though elsewhere Shruti says akasha shariram brahma, so Brahman is shariram, nature of akasha, is not to be taken in literally sense because elsewhere it said anakasham brahma, Brahman is spaceless. And so therefore, just as Prithvi etc. is not the nature of Brahman, so also Akasha is not the nature of Brahman. Therefore, Akasha Shariram Brahma is not to be interpreted as the Swarupa of Brahma. It is just that, just as Akasha is all pervasive, abundant, so also Brahman is abundant or all pervasive. That is what is meant there. Tasmat pragutpattehe anakashamiti sthitam. Therefore, before the creation, there was no akasha, or Brahman is devoid of space. Then, yadapi yuktam pruthivyadi vaidharmyat akashasya ajatvamiti. So Prithvi, we know, possesses sthulatvam or grossness, and Prithvi has created. Prithvi is born and Prithvi is perishable. Water is perishable. They are all born. Fire, water, earth are born. So Akasha is distinct from them. Prithvivyadi vaidharmyat. Because fire is born because fire possesses heat. Water is born because water possesses taste. Earth is born because earth possesses fragrance or smell. Then Akasha doesn't have any of this. Meaning that for something to be created, it must possess either heat or taste or smell. And Akasha does not possess any of these characteristics. Therefore, Akasha is not born. तदपि असत श्रुति विरोधे सति उत्पत्ति असंभव अनुमानस्य आभासत्व उपपत्तेः. This kind of anumanam which contradicts what the Shruti says cannot be accepted as valid. Utpatti anumanasya darshitvatvat. We already presented anumanam, inference, which establishes that Akasha is created. So, Akasha vikarah vibhaktatvat ghatadivat. That anumanam proves that Akasha is created. So we have anumanam which is favored by the Shruti, and you have the anumanam that in fact contradicts what the Shruti says. Therefore, that anumanam cannot be accepted as pramanam. It is fallacious. Further, anityam akasham anitya gunashrayatvad ghatadivad prayoga sambhavacha. Further inferences also can be presented here. They call it syllogism. Anityam akasham. Akasha is impermanent because anitya gunashrayatvat. Ashraya lokas of the guna, such as shabda, which is impermanent. Therefore, akasha, which is locus, also is impermanent. Then atmani anaikantikatvam. But then the same anumanam also will prove that atma is perishable because atma also is possessed of ichcha, dvesha, sukha, dukkha, this kind of attributes, and they are impermanent. Therefore, akash, this atma being locus of these impermanent gunas, also becomes impermanent. Says na tasya aupanishadam prati anitya gunashayatva siddhe. Says no. Upanishad says kevalo nirgunascha. Upanishad says that Atma is nirguna. Atma is devoid of all attributes. And therefore, your claim that Atma is possessed of the attributes of Ichcha, Dvesha is not right. We cannot accept Atma as possessed of this dharma or attributes. Vibhutvadinam cha akashasya utpattivadinam prati asiddhatvat. That Akasha is Vibhu, is all pervasive. That also the followers of Upanishad who accept that Akasha is created cannot accept the Avibhutvam, the all pervasive of Akasha or imperishability of Akasha. Vibhutvam also is only in a relative sense, not in the absolute sense. Yathoktam etat shabdachayati. That was the other sutram, So, because we shabda, where these statements were all core shabdacha, vayuscha antariksham cha etat amrutam. So to say that vayu, and remember vayu also is there. Vayuscha antariksham cha etat amrutam. This vayu and this space are immortal. So shabdacha tatra amrutatva shruti hitavad Viyati amrutaha divokasahetivat drashtavya. Even though the Shruti says that Akasha is amrutam, immortal, but that should be interpreted in a secondary sense, just as it is said that Devatas are immortal, but they are not immortal in primary sense. Similarly also, Akasha is not immortal in primary sense, only in a secondary sense it is to be understood as immortal. Utpatti pralayo upapaditvatvat. Akash is not immortal because Utpatti, we have said here that Akash is created. How can it be immortal? Pralaya also is there. That being the case, Akasha cannot be immortal in primary sense. Akashavat sarvagatascha nitya iti api. How about this? Akashavat sarvagatascha nitya shabdacha. Like Akasha, like space, Atma is sarvagataha, all pervasive, nitya, eternal. So, like space, that is, space must be all pervasive, space must be eternal, then alone Atma can be all pervasive and eternal. इत्यपि प्रसिद्ध महत्वेन आकाशेन उपमानं क्रियते. This is merely giving an illustration of Akasha, which is well known to be all pervasive, and therefore the all pervasiveness of space is presented as an illustration. For the relative all pervasiveness of space is presented as an illustration for absolute or unsurpassable in all pervasiveness of Atma. यथा ईश्वरीय सविता धावति इति क्षिप्रगतित्वाय उच्यते. Just as Savita Dhavati, the sun runs, moves fast like an arrow. It is not the sun moves as fast as an arrow, but then that fastness of arrow is in fact presented as an illustration to convey the speed of sun. Now on the page 511, continuing. श्री रत्नप्रबंधनो स यथा अनंतोयम आकाशः एवं अनंतः आत्मा इति श्रुतिः नित्यत्वेनैव साम्यं ब्रूते. स यथा अनंतोयम आकाशः, अयम आकाशः अनंतः, just as this आकाश space is ananta, is infinite. Evam ananta atma, in a manner similar to that, atma also is infinite. Also shabdacha, all of these statements were in that sutra. Iti shruti, this statement that just as space is infinite, so also atma is infinite, that very clearly says that space and atma are equal. Just as space is infinite, so atma also is infinite. Therefore, nityatveneva samyam. Both of them are infinite, and so infinity of atma and infinity of space are similar. So just as space is infinite, so also is atma infinite. That means infiniteness of the space and atma is the same. There is samyam, similarity between atma and space. न इत्याह, to that भाष्यकार says no. भाष्यकार says एतेन इति, एतेन अनंतत्व उपमान श्रुतिः व्याख्याता. एतेन, so by saying that the immortality of space is relative, and so also the all-pervasiveness, vibhutvam, the all-pervasiveness space also is relative. Similarly also anantatvam, the infinity of the space also is relative and not absolute. Says Ratnaprabha, Akashasya karyattvena anityatvad. Because it is already established that Akasha is created, and what is created is impermanent. The impermanent cannot be infinite. Shrutistu apekshika anantyadvara mukhya anantyam bodhayati iti bhavaha. Shruti just presents Akasha as an illustration to give us an idea of what is meant by all pervasiveness, what is meant by infinite, to give an idea. It is not that Akash, otherwise Akasha becomes Brahman, If illustration and illustrated are the same in every aspect, then the illustration is not there. It becomes the same thing. So Akasha is presented as an illustration. And it's natural that we are familiar with Akasha. So everybody knows Akasha is all pervasive. People know Akasha is infinite. So people know Akasha as partless. So we understand what is partlessness, what is all pervasiveness, what is infinity. And so these are presented as the illustrations to illustrate the unsurpassable or absolute infinity. Atma is unsurpassably all pervasive. Atma is unsurpassably infinite. Atma is unsurpassably immortal. So immortality of the space, the all pervasiveness of the space, the infinite of the space are all presented as just drishtanta, as illustration to illustrate the absolute infinity, immortality, all pervasiveness of Atma. Then, say Ratnaprabha, न्यूनत्वाच्च आकाशस्य न मुख्य उपमानत्वमिति आह. Nyunatvacha, Akasha is Nyunam, is inferior, is smaller. Akasha is Nyunam, meaning it is less, it is smaller, inferior to Atma, and therefore also they cannot be equal. So, no mukhya upmanatvam. Therefore, that comparison between Akasha and Atma cannot be in the primary sense. That both are equally all pervasive cannot be, because Akasha is clearly inferior to Atma or less than Atma. So Jayan Bhashyakara says, Jayan Akashat इत्यादि श्रुतिभ्यश्च ब्रह्मणः आकाशस्य ऊन परिमाणत्व सिद्धिः. Jayan Akasha, Akasha Jayan, it is greater than Akasha, bigger than Akasha, bigger than space. Brahman is bigger than space. Very clear statement is there. इति इत्यादि श्रुतिभ्यश्च ब्रह्मणः आकाशस्य ऊन परिमाणत्वं. Parimana means measure. Una parimanatvam, smaller in measure. So when Upanishad says Atma is greater than Akasha, it's very clear that Akasha possesses an inferior measure, inferior to Atma in measure, and therefore also the comparison cannot be in the primary sense. Further also Bhashyakara says, न तस्य प्रतिमा अस्ति इति च ब्रह्मणः अनुपमानत्वं दर्शयति. न तस्य प्रतिमा अस्ति. Pratima means upama. There is no comparison. There is nothing equal to Atma. It is a very clear statement. Na tasya pratima asti. It is Brahmana anupamanatvam darshayati. That Brahman is incomparable. There is no pratima. There is no illustration of Brahman, meaning that Brahman is anupamanam. Brahman is incomparable. So incomparability of Brahman is very clearly expressed in the statement na tasya pratima asti. Say Ratnaprabha, मुख्य उपमान असत्वे श्रुति ही न तस्येति. मुख्य उपमान asatve. That the comparison is not in the primary sense is very clear in the statement na tasya pratima. See, there is nothing comparable to Brahman or Atma. So Ratnava says, Tasmad Akashasya Upamanatva Matran Nityatva Nasti Bhavaha. Therefore, just because Akasha is presented as Upamanam, as a comparison, as illustration that does not prove that Akasha is Nityam or eternal. Anityattvena asatve shrutim aha. Anityattvena asatvam. That Akasha is anityam. It is impermanent. And therefore asatyam. It is, in fact, asatyam means perishable or mithya, both ways. That Akasha is anityam. And therefore is anityam means impermanent. Therefore it is perishable. This is also what Shruti says. Atahaiti. So Bhashyakara says, Ato nyadartam iti cha brahmanah anyesham akashadinam artatvam darshayati. Atah anyadartam, says Yajnavalkya, everything other than Brahman is artam. Artam is mithya, in fact. Call it perishable, call it mithya or unreal. Iti brahmanah anyesham akashadinam artatvam darshayati. Everything other than Brahman is artam, is perishable. And Akasha is different from Brahman, therefore Akasha also is perishable. Anyesham Akasha, everything beginning from Akasha is perishable or is mithya, is very clearly stated in that statement there. Then, yattu ekasyaiva sambhuta shabdasya gaunatvam mukhyatvam chayati. So this was stated in that sutra number 5, Syat Chekasya Brahma Shabdavata, on the page 502. The Ekdeshi had made this argument, Syat Ekasya Brahma Shabdavata. Ekasya Sambhuta Shabdasya विषय विशेष वशात गौण मुख्यस्य प्रयोग ब्रह्म शब्दवत. So these Taittiriya Upanishad says tasmadva etasmat atmanah akasha sambhutah. From Atma Akasha was born. Then Akasha Vayu, from Akasha Vayu was born. Vayoho Agnihi, from Vayu Agni was born. Now, if you take the Chandogya Shruti, tat tej asrujata, taj apah asrujata, etc., then the creation of fire, water and earth is taken in a primary sense from the Chandogya Upanishad. Therefore, when you go back to Taittiriya Upanishad, by the admission of this Ekadeshi also, you have to accept that Vayoho Agnihi, Agnehi apah adhyah prithvi. From Vayu, the Agni, from Agni, the water, from water, the earth. That bhavatso sambhutah. Vayoho Agnihi sambhutah. Agnehe apah sambhutah, etc. So, then that sambhuta word has to be accepted in primary sense. Whereas when it is said, Atmanah Akasha Sambhuta, that Sambhuta is not real, is in a secondary sense. So in 5 times the word Sambhuta is used, 2 times we take in the Gauna sense, and 3 times we take in the Mukhya sense, primary. How can it be? So then he gave the example, Brahma Shabdavata. Yatha ekasyapi Brahma Shabdasya tapasa Brahma vijijñāsasva. How one very same word Brahman is used both in a primary as well as in secondary sense in the same passage. Tapasa Brahma vijijñāsasva. May you know, may you seek to know Brahman through tapas, where tapas is presented as the means of knowledge of Brahman. Tapo Brahmeti. He says tapas itself is Brahman. So how can tapas be both means of knowledge of Brahman and Brahman also? Therefore, tapo brahmeti, the word tapas is used in a secondary sense. So how in the same passage, one word Brahma is used in a primary sense as well as in secondary sense, so also in one passage the word Sambhuta is used in primary sense when it comes to fire, water and earth, secondary sense when it comes to space and air. This is the argument. So going back to page 511 says Ratnavara yattu ekasyeva sambhuta shabdasya gaunatvam mukhyatvam cha iti. One word sambhuta is gauna with reference to akasha, mukhya with reference to fire, iti. Tanna, that is not so. Akashepi tasya mukhyatva sambhavat. You, that word sambhuta can very well be primary with reference to Akasha also. You say that it is secondary, but it can very well be primary also with reference to Akasha. How? Bhashyaka tapasi iti. Tapasi brahma shabdavata akashasya janma shrutehe gaunatvam इत्येतत् आकाश संभव श्रुति अनुमानाभ्याम परिहृतम्. That tapasi brahma shabdavat tapo brahmeti, in that in tapas brahman, tapas is said to be brahman. आकाशस्य, but then जन्म श्रुते है आकाश, आकाश संभूत है, आकाश से जन्म श्रुते है, that आकाश is born. गौणत्वमिति आकाश संभव श्रुति अनुमानाभ्याम परिहृतम. आकाश संभव श्रुति, meaning the statement of the Shruti which says Akasha is born. What's the statement? Tasmadva etasmad atmana Akasha sambhutah. That is called Sambhava Shruti, the statement of Shruti which talks about the Sambhava, the birth or creation of Akasha. Then Anumanabhyam, Anumana also is presented. Akasha vikaraha vibhaktatvat ghatadivat. So Anumanam also is there, Shruti also is there, Anumana also is there. In case of this Tapo Brahmeti, there is no other Anumanam etc. And so says the Nyaya Nirnaya, Yuktam Tapasi Brahma Shabdasya Gaunatvam. That the word Brahman is used in a Gauna or a figurative sense, secondary sense with reference to tapas is quite proper. Tasya Brahma Jnana Sadhanatvat, because that very same passage says that tapas is the Brahma Jnana Sadhanam, the means of knowledge of Brahman. So tapasa Brahma Vijijnasasva. So may you seek to know Brahman through tapas. Tapas is third case. That means tapas is presented as a means of knowledge of Brahman. And then right away it says Brahman, tapas is Brahman. So that is similar to extol tapas. To praise or extol tapas, which is means of knowledge of Brahman, it is said that, but it is very clear that tapas is the means of knowledge of Brahman. Therefore, when it says tapo brahmeti, it is very clear that word Brahman is used in the secondary sense with reference to tapas. आकाशे तु संभूत शब्दस्य ज्वलनादिवत् बाधक अभावात्. See, in case of tapas, there is a badhaka. Tapo brahmeti, that word Brahman is not in primary sense, there is a badhaka. This is something that contradicts that by saying tapasa brahma vijijnasasva. It is a tapasa. So may you know Brahman through tapas. That statement is a badhaka. It negates the idea of tapas being Brahman. But Akasha Sambhutah, Akasha is born, There is no Badhaka. There is nothing that says Akasha is not born. Here something says tapas is not Brahman because it says tapasa Brahma vijijñāsasva, that tapas is the means of knowledge of Brahman. Very clearly say that tapas is not Brahman. But Akasha is Sambhuta, Akasha is born. There is nothing that says Akasha is not born. There is no Badhaka. There is nothing that contradicts or negates that statement. Jvalanadivad, that Agni tat teja asrujata is very clearly there. So similarly, or Jvalanadivat, you can put it another way also, that fire is hot. However, in presence of a certain jewel, you know, what is it? Suryakant Mani, I think. In presence of that money, the heat of the fire is obstructed. So fire will not burn. Even though you can see the flame, fire cannot burn. That is Badhaka. Something that negates the jvalanam or burning capacity of fire. And therefore, here however, there is nothing that negates the creation of space. No, so this statement is there. Anugrahak sadbhavacha, and this anugrahakam, this anumanam also, which supports that statement of Shruti of creation of space. Therefore, mukhyatvam, sambhuta shabdasya mukhyatvam, therefore, word sambhuta is mukhya and not gauda. So unless, normally whenever a word is used, we should take it in a primary sense, unless there is reason otherwise. That the vibhutvam, anantatvam, amrutatvam, immortality, anantatvam, infiniteness, vibhutvam, all pervasiveness, all of those things in case of Akasha are contradicted by other things, by other statements, with other logic. Therefore, those words are interpreted in secondary sense. Similarly, tapo brahmeti, tapas is Brahma, that statement is now contradicted by tapasa Brahma vijijñāsasva, seek to know Brahman through tapas. Therefore, very clear that word Brahman is used in a secondary sense in case of tapas. But word Sambhuta was born in case of Akasha is not in any way contradicted. Not only that, but this Anumanam, inference, which supports that. Therefore, in case of Akasha, the word Sambhuta is in a primary sense, not secondary sense. Therefore, says now finally Ratnava बलवत्तित्तरिश्रुत्या छान्दोग्यश्रुतेः नयनाद् एकवाक्यतया सृष्टरि ब्रह्मात्मनि समन्वयति उपसंहरति. बलवत्तित्तरिश्रुत्या, this whole discussion is running on this contention that the Ekadashi says the Chandogya Shruti is primary and the Taittiriya Shruti should be interpreted according to Chandogya. And the argument of the Siddhanta is that Taittiriya Shruti is primary and Chandogya should be interpreted in accordance. So with all of these arguments, it is established that the Taittiriya Shruti is primary. So Balavat Tittari Shrutya, in what sense it is primary? That Akasha is born. And what the Taittiriya Upanishad says, Akasha Sambhutaha is primarily there. So therefore, even though Chandogya does not mention the creation of Akasha and Vayu, we should include that along with the in keeping with the statement of the Taittiriya Upanishad. So Balavat Tittari Shrutya Chandogya Shrutehe Nayanad. This Chandogya Shruti must be interpreted in accordance with the Taittiriya Shruti. Ekavakyata, in that case, both of them convey the same purport. Both the statements convey Ekavakyata, means same purport. So similarity or oneness of purport is there, unity of purport is there. Srashtari Brahmatmani Samanvaya. Therefore, Brahma or Atma is Brahma or Atma is Srashta, is creator, according to both the statements. So Samanvaya. There is no, the whole argument was there is internal contradiction. Taittiriya Shruti says one thing, Chandogya says another thing. And if both of them are right, then they contradict each other. Therefore, they are not pramana. It is a Purva Paksha. There is no Brahmatmani Samanvaya. Both of them convey the same thing, and therefore Samanvaya, there is reconciliation with reference to Brahma or Atma, which is Srashta or creator. Or if you read the last sentence in Nyaya Nirnaya, Akasha Srushti Shruti Anusarana Tejas Shruti Shruti Nayana, same thing. That interpreting the creation of Tejas in giving the creation of Akasha. Tayo Ekavakyataya Pramanyo Patte, therefore they have unity of purport, and therefore both of them are Pramanam. Akasha Karane Brahmani Samanvaya Siddhyati. Okay, same thing. So that's the Upasamharati. This is the conclusion in the whole Adhikaranam. What's the? See, the content, the topic is simple, whether Akasha is created or not. But understand that in that process of conveying that, so many statements of Shruti from so many places also are taken and explained to us. Where the meaning is primary, how to interpret those statements also, all of these also included in the discussion. And that way, Samanvaya, the whole idea of Brahma Sutra and the Bhashya is to explain to us the reconciliation, Ekavakyata, the unity of purport of all the statements. And because statements are made in different places by different gurus or teachers, and therefore everybody has their own way of expressing. So the words may not be consistent, even though the idea is consistent, the purport is consistent, but the manner in which that purport is expressed may not be consistent. Therefore, to an uninitiated person, it may look like these Shruti statements are just going in all directions, there is no consistency in them. So, one of the important purposes of Brahma Sutra is to show consistency, Ekavakyata, unity of purport. So that way this Adhikaranam is complete. Now we go to the next one, page 510. So Vyad Utpattim Uktva Pavanotpattim Atideshena Sadhayati. Vyad Utpattim Uktva, having established that space is created in the previous Adhikaranam, previous topic, Pavanotpatti. Now this Adhikaranam, consisting of one sutra alone, says that air also is created. Atideshana, by extension, extending the same reasoning. So the reasons by it is proven that space is created, by the same reasoning also it is proven that the air also is created. So no new reasoning is required. It's called Atidesha, extension. You extend the graph. So when the graph up to 2012 is this, so you can project what will be the situation in the subsequent years, extension, applying the same reasoning. So the next sutra says, Etena matarishva vyakhyatah. Etena vyad vyakyanena akasasya utpattimatva vyakyanena. Etena. So by this vyakyanam, by this explanation of the creation of space also, Matarishva Vyakhyatah. Matarishva means Vayuhu, Matarishva means air, Matarishvayati Gacchati iti Matarishva, one who moves in mother. Akasha is the mother of Vayu, and Vayu always moves in Akasha, so it's called Matarishva. मातरीश्वर भी व्याख्यात है आकाश अवच्छिन्न ब्रह्मजन्यत्वेन व्याख्यात है that Matarishva Vayu also is created from Akasha, but not from Akash, from Brahman. Idea is that just as space is created from Brahman, so also Akasha is created from Brahman. So Brahman, which is now attained the state of Akasha, from that the Vayu is created. So all along it is Brahman. So just as when you talk about an ornament of gold, so from a lump of gold, you say that a rod is created and then wire is created. So from lump of gold, the rod is created. From that, the wire is created. From that, the rings are created. But all along it is gold. So gold in the form of rod, from that the gold in the form of wire is created. From the gold which is wire, the rings are created. From gold which is rings, the chain is created, etc. Then we have this Vaiyasika Nyayamala here. Those two verses. As you know, this is the style here that for every adhikaranam, for every topic, Vidyaranya Swami has given these two verses for every topic to explain the central theme of the topic. Here, of course, the topic consists only one sutra, but still the same method is followed. So it says, Vairnityo jayate va chandogye janma kirtanat saisha nastamita devata iti uktescha na jayate. Vayu nitya hai. Is Vayu now nitya, eternal? Jayateva, or Vayu also is born? So this is the doubt. Whether, so Vayu is the Vishaya. What is Samshaya? Jayate Nava. Is the Vayu born or not? Then Purva Paksha. Chandogya Ajanma Kirtana. Because Chandogya only says Tat Teja Asrujata, does not talk about the creation of space and Vayu, so Vayu is not born. Saesha Anastamita Devata. So Vayu is a Devata which never sets. Astamaya. Udaya means rising of the sun, Astamaya setting of the sun. Saesha Anastamita Devata. This Devata Vayu never sets, never ceases to be there, is always there, meaning it is permanent. Iti uktescha na jayate. For these two reasons, the Purva Pakshi says, Vayu na jayate, Vayu is not born. Then the answer is given. Shrutyantaropa samharat gauni anastamaya shrutihi. Shrutyantaropa samharat. That when you take into account the Taittiriya Shruti, then you should include what the Taittiriya says, even though everything may not be said everywhere. The idea is that everything is not said everywhere. So what is said in one place should be included elsewhere also. So when you give the list for puja, then someday you already said that you must have the Panchapatra. So every time you may not mention it, is understood that it is there. Oh, you didn't talk, you didn't mention it. But then in puja it must be there. So we told you earlier. And also an asana must be there, this must be there, it's all understood. Understood means what? Even though not clearly stated, things are understood. To be there, for a puja to be performed, for a yaga to be performed. Gauni anastamaya shrutihi. That eta anastaisha anastamita devata, that the Vayu devata does not set, is only Gauni, is not Mukhya, but in a secondary sense. Vyajayate Vayu Swarupam Brahma Karanam. So Vayu Jayate. And from what? From Brahman, which is Swarupam or Karanam. From Brahma, which is Karanam, Vayu or the air is born. Here the Tika says, तैत्तिरीयकेव आकाशाद्वायुति श्रूयते. In Taittiriya Upanishad, it says Akashadvayuhu. From Akasha, Vayu was born. Sayam Utpatti Shruti Gauni. Purva Pakshi says that the Utpatti or the creation of Vayu should be taken only in a secondary sense, not in the primary sense. Why? Chandogye Srishti Prakarane Tejo Bhavannanam Eva Utpatte Abhidhanat. So why do you say that? Even though Taittiriya says Vayu was born, you should not take it literally. Why? Because in Chandogya there is no mention of creation of Vayu. Tejo Bannanam. Only Teja, up and Anna. Only three elements are shown to be created: fire, water and earth, and air and space are not mentioned. Therefore, air also is not created. Nanu. Kvachit ashravanam anyatra shrutam na vayatam utsahate. So suppose it is not stated in one place, but elsewhere it is very clearly stated. So just because it is not mentioned in one place, should not dismiss what is clearly stated elsewhere. Nanu kvachit ashravanam anyatra shrutam na vayatam utsahate. So now question is, whether we should include the creation of space and air in Chandogya in keeping with the Taittiriya Shruti, or we should exclude the creation of space and air in Taittiriya in keeping with Chandogya Shruti. So this is how these two Shrutis are creating this whole discussion. So he says that because Chandogya does not mention, therefore, even though Taittiriya mentions it, you should take it in a secondary sense. We say that, wait a minute, Taittiriya clearly says that Akasha is created, Vayu is created, and just because Chandogya does not say, does not mean that what Taittiriya says is not right. No, Vayatum Bhaditum Utsahate, it cannot negate what Taittiriya says. Iti Nyayana Taittiriya Shrutehe Kuto Gaunatvam. So we ask him, on what basis do you say that the Taittiriya Shruti is Gauni, is to be taken as secondary sense? Why? Says Shrutyantara Virodhat iti Brumaha. So Purva Pakshi says Shrutyantara Virodhat because creation of Vayu will contradict what the Shruti says elsewhere. Bruhadaranyake Saesha Anastamita Devata Yad Vayuhu iti. Saesha Devata Yad Vayuhu. This Devata who is called Vayu is Anastamita. It never sets. The sun sets, but Vayu never sets, So fire also is put down, sun also sets, everything sets. But Vayu goes on round the clock. So Vayu never sets. So that's what the Brihadaranyaka also said. The Vayoho Vinasha Pratishedhat. And thus the Vinasha Pratishedha, that statement clearly denies the Vinasha, the destruction of Vayu, by saying that Vayu ever is. Utpattimatveja tadevagat. If Vayu was created, it would perish also. But this Shruti says Vayu does not perish, means that Vayu is not created. So this is in support. So now Chandogya does not mention the creation of Vayu, and this Shruti says that Vayu is immortal and therefore is not created. So therefore Taittiriya Shruti must be interpreted in a secondary sense. Iti prapte brumaha. So when that situation arises, Siddhanti says here, Chandogye janma ashravane gunopasamharanyayana Taittiriya vakyasya itaratra upasamhare sati. Chandogye janma ashravane. Even though Shruti does not mention the janma or the creation of air in Chandogya, itaratra upasamhare sati. But since Taittiriya mentions that, therefore the rule is to include what is not stated in one place, so we should include what is stated clearly in a place where it is not clearly stated. So Shrutameva Chandogya, by the rule of inclusiveness, we assume that Chandogya also means. Although Chandogya may have some reason why this is not stated. So sometimes we choose to make a statement in a different way because there is a different purpose. Because what tangible elements are, only water, fire, water and earth. Space is not a tangible element. Air also is not a tangible element. Satya, asatya. Sat means gross, asat means subtle. So therefore fire, water, earth are called sat or gross. Other two elements are subtle. Therefore it's easier to demonstrate. The purpose of Chandogya Upanishad is to demonstrate how the whole universe is nothing but Brahman or Sat. So Sat alone becomes fire, Sat alone becomes water, Sat alone becomes earth, and that fire, water, earth alone has become the whole universe. Therefore, the universe is Sat as its Atma. That's the whole idea. So it becomes easy because fire has its color which is red, water has the color which is white, earth has the color which is black, and so it is easy to show how the whole universe is made up of these three colors. Vayu doesn't have a color, space doesn't have a color, so you can't demonstrate. So therefore, this must be the reason why Chandogya chooses to mention only three elements. Doesn't mean that they mean that only three elements are created. So Shrutameva Chandogya Vayu Janma. So Chandogya may have its own purpose in not mentioning those two elements. That does not mean that the two elements are not really created. So you must assume that Chandogya also means that Vayu is created. Anastamaya Shrutistu na mukhya. Whereas this Shruti, Sa Esha Anastamita Devata, this Devata never suffers from extinction. That Shruti is na mukhya, that non-extinction or immortality is not in a primary sense. Upasana prakarana patitatvena stutyarthatvad. So you are quoting the statement of Upasana. In Upasana meditation, you always praise or extol the object of meditation. So Vayu is the object of meditation. Therefore Vayu is extolled. Vayu is praised as immortal. So don't take it in this Arthavada, not taken to be taken in the primary sense. Akashotpatti hetavascha atranam sandhyaha. And whatever hetus or the reasons we presented for the creation of Akasha. Akasha vikarah vibhaktvatvat ghataadivat. Anityam akasham anitya gunashrayatvat, etc. So many hetus we gave for creation of Akasha. All those also apply to Vayu. Atra anusandhyaha. So those hetus or reasons or arguments also must be taken into account here, must be applied here also. Nache vayoho akashakaryattvena brahmani anantarbhavat. Another question is raised. The Upanishad says that by knowing Brahman, then everything is known. Now, Chandogya clearly says, Tat teja asrujata, that Brahman created fire, Tat apaha asrujata, Brahman created water, Tat annam asrujata, Brahman created earth. But Taittiriya doesn't say Brahman created Vayu, it says Akashad Vayu and Vayu Agni. So if Vayu is created from Akasha, then Vayu is not Brahman. So Brahman is the Upadana Karana for Akasha, Atman Akasha, therefore Akasha is not separate from Brahman. But Vayu is created from Akasha. So Vayu is independent of Brahman. So how do you know everything by knowing Brahman? So nacha Vayo Akasha Karyatvena. Since Vayu is the Akasha Karyam, effect of Akasha. Brahmani Anantarbhavat Therefore, it is not included in Brahman. Brahma jnanena vayu jnanam na siddhet. Therefore, by knowing Brahman, you do not know vayu because vayu has a different cause. Only by knowing material cause, there is no the effect. But then, for vayu, the material cause is akasha, not Brahman. Therefore, by knowing Brahman, how do you know vayu? So that pratigna, eka vijnanena sarva vijnanam will not be satisfied. It na shankaniyam, that doubt should not be raised, that doubt should not occur. पूर्व पूर्व कार्य विशिष्टस्य ब्रह्मणः उत्तरोत्तर कार्य हेतुत्वस्य वक्ष्यमाणतया पूर्व पूर्व कार्य विशिष्टस्य ब्रह्मणः. So ultimately, this Brahman, which is qualified by the Purva Karya. So, Atma Akasha Sambhuta, from Atma, Akasha is born. That means Atma or Brahman alone manifests Akasha. Akasha Dvayuhu. So, that means that Brahman, which is manifested as Akasha, that gave rise to Vayu. Purva Purva Karya Vishishtasya Brahmana. So Brahman is qualified by Akasha, Brahman is qualified by Vayu. Uttarottara Karya Hetutvasya. So Brahman alone in that particular state gives rise to the next effect. Vakshamanatya. So this is what will be stated. Vyadrupatvat Brahmana Annas Vyadrupatat Nasya Brahmana Vayu. No, Vyadrup Apannasya Brahmana eva Vayu Karanatvat. Vyadrup Apannasya Brahmana. So Brahman which is attained, the state of Vyat or the space, from that Brahman alone, Vayu is born. Tasmat Vayu Jayate. Therefore, Vayu is born and not it is birthless or immortal. Itena Matarishva Vyakhyata. So by this sutra, by all the reasonings presented to show how Akasha is born, all those reasons also apply for the creation of Vayu. So now go to Bhashya. Atideshoyam. This is the extension of application, that atidesha. So what applies in one place also applies elsewhere. So for example, I remember many years having read an article that crows in Japan also, crows are black, you know. In India their crows are black, so wherever crows are they must be black. In Japan also they must be black. Or just as Upanishad says, Yatha atra, what is it? Karmana chito lokaha anityaha evameva amutra punya chito lokaha. So just as what is acquired through karma here is impermanent, so also in Swarga what is acquired through punya karma also is impermanent. So they're extending the logic. Whatever logic applies to earth also applies to heaven. So if the gravity is such and such here, gravity also is same thing in the United States. And if people are miserable here, this will be miserable there also. In India, in America, people are comfortably miserable. In India, they are uncomfortably miserable. But then by logic, you can say that the misery must be there. Comfort or lack of it does not change the inner state of the person. Because for being miserable, you don't need anybody. You need yourself. That's all. That for being miserable, you don't need anybody else. If you needed somebody else, then that can be changed. That is not there in India and that is there in the US and so forth. So Indians like to claim that we are happy people. Americans are not happy. So that we like to say that. But then wherever human mind is, there is misery. And human mind is capable of creating misery for itself. It will find out reasons. Even though poverty is not in the United States and poverty is in India, so you may think that poverty is the cause of misery, which it may very well be. But even if poverty is not there, abundance is there. That also can become cause of misery. Abundance or affluence also can create misery in a different sense. And so, extension of logic. Atideshoyam, this is an extension of logic of the previous adhikarana, previous topic. Therefore, Ratnavara says, atideshatvat, no pruthak sangatyadi apeksha. Because this sutra also, or this adhikarana also, is in the same lines as previous adhikarana, therefore, whatever sangati or connections or relationships apply to previous adhikarana also apply here. So you need not separately state the sangati, the connections here. Bhashyakara says, etena vyadvyakhyanena matarishvapi vyadashraya vayu vyakhyatah. Explaining sutra, etena matarishva vyakhyatah. So etena means what? Vyad vyakhyanena. By the vyakhyana or discussion of vyat or the space. Matarishvapi. Matarishva means what? Vyadashraya vayu. Vayu which has its ashraya, its location or basis on space. That is also vyakhyata. That is also explained. से न्याय निर्णय वेद उत्पत्ति कथनानंतरम तेज आदि अतिक्रम्य वायोः उत्पत्तिमत्वेन व्याख्याने कारणम आह. वेद उत्पत्ति कथनानंतरम. So previous adhikarana talked about Vyad Utpatti. It discussed the creation of space. Tej Adi Atikramya. Now then you should talk about Teja. Tat Teja Asrujata Atikramya. Vayoho Utpattimatvena Vyakhyane. So why do you now take a Vayu after the space? So what's the reason why the discussion of Vayu is taken after Akasha? Why not fire? Why not water? Why Vayu? So Bhashyakara says, Vyad Ashraya. Because Vayu is immediate product after Vyat. And therefore Vayu follows, discussion of Vayu follows the discussion of space. श्री रत्नभा तत्तेज है असृजति श्रुते है आकाशात वाहिद श्रुत्या विरोध है अस्ति न वा इति. So तत्तेज है असृजत, that Brahman created तेज or fire. Whereas Taittiriya says akashat vayu, from the space the air is created. It is Shrutya virodha asti navaiti. Are these two Shrutis, do they contradict each other or not? Iti ekavakyatva bhav abhavabhyam samshaya. Whether these two statements, akashad vayu, the vayu is created from space, tat teja srujata, it created fire, whether they convey there is a unity of purport or not. So ekavakyatva bhav abhavabhyam. Ekavakyatva bhava, whether there is unity of purport, abhava or not. It is samshaya. So that's the basis of samshaya or the doubt. Gauna, Paksha, Purva Paksha, Siddhanta Pakshan, Atideshati. So remember the sequence of discussion in the previous Adhikaranam. First the Atideshi came, then Purva Paksha came, then Siddhanta came. So Gauna Paksha is what? The Ekadeshi, not Ekadeshi. So the Pseudo Vedantin is Gauna Paksha. Then Purva Paksha, the opponent. Siddhanta, the Siddhanta, Vedantin. So this was the sequence of presentation that was followed in the previous Adhikarana. In all the Adhikaranas, the same sequence is followed. This is what we were told earlier. So therefore Bhashyakara also, it is samshaya. Whether the two Shrutis contradict each other or they say the same thing. Taittiriya says, from Akasha, Vayu was created. Chandogya says, Brahman created Teja or fire. So, are these Shrutis in contradiction or not? इस संशय गौण पक्ष पूर्व पक्ष सिद्धांत पक्षान अतिदशति those paksha meaning what? Those viewpoints. Those different viewpoints also apply here. So there is an extension of those viewpoints as well. So tatra Bhashyakara says tatrapi ete yatha yogam pakshaha rasayitavyaha. So ayam atideshaha. So this is an important thing. Bhashyakara says this is merely an extension of discussion of the previous topic. And therefore the same line of arguments will also follow here. So tatrapi ete yatha yogam pakshaha rasayitaha. Therefore here also these opposing viewpoints also must be presented in a manner similar to the previous topic. So Bhashyakara says न वायुः उत्पद्यते छन्दोगानाम् उत्पत्ति प्रकरणे अनाम्नात् इति एकः पक्षः. So there, what is the first sutra? न vyat ashrutehe. The Ekadeshi said that vyat or space is not created ashrutehe because there is no shruti which delineates the creation of space. So also न वायु उत्पद्यते छंदोगानाम उत्पत्ति प्रकरणे अनाम्नादिति. So यदि Ekadeshi says that Vayu also is not created, why does he say that? To show the Ekavakyata. So Ekadeshi in his own way wants to show the consistency of the Shrutis. And so says that even though the Taittiriya says Akashad Vayu, there is only Gauni Shruti. So Gauni Asambhavat. That comes later. First he says, so Na Vayu Ashrute. So Na Vayu Utpadyate. Vayu is not born, is not created. Chandoganam Utpatti Prakarane Anamnat. Because in the context of discussion of the creation, the Chandogas, the follower of the Chandogya, they do not in fact mention the creation of Vayu. Therefore Vayu is not created. Iti Ekaha Paksha. This is the Ekadeshi Paksha. Then further. Then what is the next sutra? Astitu. There is the next sutra there. Here also. Astitu Taittiriyanam Utpatti Prakarane Amnanam Akashadvayuhu Iti Pakshantaram. But the Purva Pakshi is Astitu. Who says there is no Shruti talking about the creation of Vayu? There is Shruti. Taittiriyanam Utpatti Prakarane Amnanam. So, in the context of creation, in the Taittiriya Upanishad, there is Amnanam. This is a very clear statement. Akasha Vayuhu. From Akasha, Vayu is created. So, clear statement is there. How do you say that? There is no Shruti talking about the creation of Vayu? Purupakshi. So says that you are not right. That Vayu is not created, Vayu is created. And therefore, there is a contradiction between Chandogya and Taittiriya. Therefore, Upanishad is not Pramana. So, this is Purva Paksha. Says Ratnaprabha, Purvatra hi Akash Anantaryam Tejasa Sthapitam. Purvatra hi Akash Anantaryam Tejasa Sthapitam. The previous Adhikaranam said that Akasha is created first and then Tejaha is created. Tatra Vayu Tejasoho Tulyavat Anantarye. But Vayu also follows Akasha and Tejas also follows Akasha. So both of them follow Akasha. So which one follows what? Anantariye. Vayu Agnihiti Kramashruti Badhat. So if you say that the Tejas is created from Akasha, then they will contradict the statement Vayoho, so Akasha Vayu, Vayoho Agnihi. Iti Kramashruti Badhat Paurapariye Tejas Pratham Bhangat. If then Vayu is first before Tejas, then Chandogya says Tejas is first, then the Tejas cannot be first. If Vayu is before Tejas, न एकवाक्यता इति पूर्व पक्षे. Therefore, पूर्व पक्षी says एकवाक्यता is not there. गौणवादी अभिप्रायमः ततश्च इति. So then again, that Ekadeshi says, ततश्च श्रुत्योः विप्रतिषेधे सति गौणी वायोः उत्पत्तिश्रुतिः असंभवात् इति अपरोभिप्रायः. So गौणी असंभवात्. So न vyad ashrutehe. Then what's the next sutra there? Astitu. Then what's the sutra there? Gauni asambhavat. Same thing follows. Therefore, the statement of the creation of Vayu is Gauna asambhavat because there are no causes available for creation of Vayu. Just as was stated, no causes available for creation of space. Same thing applies here. No causes available for creation of Vayu. इति अपरो अभिप्रायः. So asambhavat. How is it impossible? Says asambhavascha sa esha anastamita devata yadvayuhu iti astamaya pratishedat amrutattvadi shravanacha. So here asambhava is not with reference to the causes. Asambhava, there it was asambhavat because the various causes, samavai, asamavai, nimitta karanat are not there for creation of space, therefore asambhava. But here asambhava or impossibility is presented in a different way. Asambhavascha sa esha anastamita devata yad vayuhu. This Vayu Devata is anastamita. It never suffers from extinction. It is always there. Iti astama pratishedat. So by denying this setting, astama in case of Vayu, amrutattvadi shravanacha. The same statement, the Vayuscha antariksham cha etat amrutam. So Vayu also is said to be amrutam, immortal. So by this, Vayu is impossible to create Vayu. In keeping the other Shrutis, so asambhavat. Then further, pratigna anuparodhat yavad vikaram cha vibhaga abhivagamat utpadyate vayuhu iti siddhantah. So Siddhanta was presented in two sutras. Pratigna ahanihi avyatirekat shabdebhyah. So says pratigna anuparodhat. Pratigna ahanihi. The pratigna will not be affected. So in keeping with the pratigna, what's the pratigna? Eka vijnanena sarva vijnanam. Everything is known by knowledge of one. So pratigna anuparodhat, by an obstruction of that pratigna. Yavad vikaram cha vibhaso, that is one thing. Second is yavad vikaram vibhagaha. So wherever vikara is there, vibhaga is there. So wherever vibhaga is there, vikara also is there. So abhyogamaat utpadyate vayuti siddhanta. Siddhanta is vayu utpadyate, vayu is created, is siddhanta. So this way, same sequence is followed. The Ekadeshi, Purvapaksha, Ekadeshi and Siddhanta. So this is the sequence was there, same sequence we understood here. But Bhashyakara, so Vyakhyata, Sutrakara leaves that exercise to us. So Bhashyakara does that exercise for us, Vyakhyata. We'll continue next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashyakrutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeri Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.